When you picture a powerful person, what comes to mind? Probably a king on a throne, right? Or maybe a CEO in some massive skyscraper office. Well, we're about to take that image and completely turn it on its head. Because as you're about to see, the highest form of power is the kind you never see at all. Let's get into it. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. This quote basically flips our entire understanding of power upside down. It's telling us that the person who looks like they're in charge, the one with the fancy title, the crown, the one everyone sees, they're really just a front. The real control, the real influence, belongs to someone else, someone working from the shadows. So first up, we need to talk about the illusion of power. Because what we're all trained to see as power is often just the very visible tip of a much, much larger hidden machine. Think about it. From the time we're kids, we're taught to connect power with visibility. It's the president at the podium, the general leading the troops, the billionaire on the cover of a magazine. They're the center of attention, right? They're making the big speeches and getting all the credit. So naturally, we just assume they're the ones with all the power. But here's the big question. What if that spotlight isn't a sign of strength at all? What if it's actually just a clever misdirection? What if that visible leader is really just an actor on a stage, and the real director is someone we never, ever see? This brings us to a really crucial idea, which is this. Visibility is a poisoned gift. See, being well-known, being seen, being easily identified, it doesn't just make you seem powerful. It makes you incredibly vulnerable. Let's break it down like this. The visible leader, they are a giant, flashing target. If things go south, everyone knows exactly who to point the finger at. They carry all the risk. And you know what? They can be replaced in a heartbeat. But the unseen influencer? Totally different story. They're anonymous. They're insulated from all the fallout. When the figurehead goes down, the real power player just finds a new one. Their power lasts because it's not tied to one person's public face. So how in the world do they pull this off? Well, it's done through something called the puppet master frame, and this is a total mental shift. It's about moving away from being the face of power and toward being the quiet architect of it. The absolute core of this whole framework is influence without identity. That's the key. This isn't about being charming or winning a popular vote. No. This is about building systems and using proxies. Those are your visible leaders acting on your behalf to get what you want without ever showing your own hand. Okay, so how does this actually work? It's really a three-step game. First, you secure a proxy. This is your public face, your visible leader. Second, you orchestrate everything from behind the scenes, guiding their moves indirectly. And third, and this is the most important part, you leave zero fingerprints. Every win, and more importantly, every loss, is tied directly to them. This keeps you completely anonymous and totally in control. Now, you have to understand, this isn't just some clever tactic. It's a whole discipline with its own rules. Let's just call it the art of invisibility. The principles here are actually pretty simple, but man, are they powerful. You're practicing indirect dominance, right? You're shaping the rules of the entire game instead of just being a player. You let your proxy take all the credit. That keeps them happy and keeps them in the spotlight. But crucially, you also let them take all the blame. That's your shield. It really all boils down to one simple truth. Real power isn't about being seen, it's about making sure things go the way you want them to. Okay, let's pull all these threads together now and really pinpoint the true seat of power. Because after all this, it's pretty clear that our old ideas about where power comes from have to change. It's just not where we've been taught to look. Here it is. The single most important takeaway. That job title, that crown, that fancy corner office, those are just positions. They are temporary, they are vulnerable, and they are always replaceable. They are not power itself. No, real power is structural. It's the ability to build and control the very system that those positions exist inside of. It's about being the architect of the building, not just another tenant who can be evicted. So forget the throne. Seriously. The person sitting there is the most visible, the most exposed, and the most targeted person in the entire game. They are just a symbol, and we all know symbols can be broken. And this is the ultimate expression of power in this framework. The real master isn't the one wearing the crown. It's the one who designed the crown, built the throne it sits on, and has the quiet influence to decide who is useful enough to sit there. That is real enduring control. Which really leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. As you look around, at your job, in your community, even on the world stage, ask yourself this. Who is the visible face of power? And who is the unseen hand that's actually guiding them? In your world, who's really pulling the strings?